20 years ago, did you ever think you'd be out in the front yard at 8 o'clock at night making a thumbnail picture? The things we do for YouTube. Here, y'all hang with. Welcome back to Tom's Garage again. Hello, boys and girls. Today, we're going to assemble this last piece of gutter for the cellar door, cellar roof. Yep. Got everything we need. Got the gutter. Got the end where it's got the little spout doohickey. I'm gonna cut this, seam that together. And then you got your downspouts, you got your end caps. Want to go here or want to go to the other side over there? You got a right and left end cap. So, and then this will go on the end. And it'll just, well, it'll go like that. There ain't no need in running a downspout down the wall like I did the house. So this will just be sticking out the end of the gutter. It's only about 4.5 feet off the ground. So I'm going to show you how exactly I did it on the house the other day. Now that you can see, this is only about 4.5, 5 feet off the ground, so I don't have to use a ladder. But I'm going to assemble this whole thing right here on this bench. What I did was I measured the roof. The roof length is 80 inches, so I measured from the end of the table all the way down here. And I put a mark at 80 inches. So start the gutter down there. And this is going to end up right there. So I'm going to cut this here. Put that seam on there. I'll show you how to seal it. And then we'll glue this piece. Goes in here. And that's what this cap is going to hook to. Screws to it with the little screws over there on the corner of that table. Yes, so the first thing we got to do is cut this to length. And let's do that. Let's do that. Find somewhere to set this camera. All right. So let's see, the gutter is at the end, and this is right on 80 inches, so I'm going to cut it right about here. It don't got to be perfect, you know, give or take a little bit. Give or take a little bit. I'll grab my tape. I'll put a piece of tape around it, that way you know it's straight. That way you know it's straight. Let's see, we'll put it on that side. You know, this is the part we're not going to be using. So we'll just put this tape on there like that. Just like that. That's pretty straight there. Yeah. That's all we got to do there. All right, let me grab this tape, this extension cord. Because we're going to use the grinder to cut that. I can't use a pair of snips or anything because you'll just deform it real bad right there. It's got that lip that goes around. So we're going to use that cutoff saw, grinder, cutoff wheel, ziz wheel, whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it. Just don't call me late for dinner. Get the cord unwrapped. Get the cord in the ring. Okay, what we'll do is set it out there. Set this camera back. Okay. Always hang on to it when you plug it in. Okay. I'll tell you what I did with that the other day. When I was doing the gutters, I had that grinder cutoff wheel laying on the table and I plugged it in and it was on. You see that? I don't know if you see that in the camera. That thing did a complete circle. All the way over there. Boy, I got that thing unplugged. I was running for my life, boy, it was after me. Evidently when I wrapped the cord around it, I hit that little toggle switch on last time I used it. Dangerous, man, dangerous. And that thing spins at 30,000 RPM too, so it ain't like a handheld grinder. Just a lot faster, we'll cut deeper. Just a lot thinner. I think that wheel was like 35 thousandths thick. Oh, I get my face shield on. I'm gonna start here. There's that. Get this thing unplugged. Okay. Okay, let me get this face mask off so I can breathe. Okay, now we got that cut where we needed it. All right, so that is going to give us 80 inches we need. If it ends up being 80 1/4 or 79 3/4, that's fine. It's just a gutter, it ain't gotta be perfect. So the way this thing goes together is just like this. It just kind of slides in. And then what you do is you take and you just bend this over. And then you take a couple of little screws, one there, one on that side. But before I do that, get some of this cleaned up. If you think this stuff was sharp before, after you cut it, it does get sharp. Probably need to wear some leather gloves or something. Don't blame me if you cut your stuff. Like my dad says, do what I say, don't do as I do, boy. Let's get some mastic. I got a few tubes of this left over. Seamer make permanent gutter seal. So what we'll do is we're going to seal this, put a bead, and then put another bead here, and then we'll put it together and fold this over. And I'm going to actually go further and seal it here too, on the inside too, but you don't really have to. But Mr. Overkill. Mr. Overkill. You don't really want to get this on your clothes or on your skin, because it is hard to come off. You just have to let it dry and just kind of peel it off. Or you can wear gloves. Gloves, we don't need no stinking gloves. All right, we got that bead. And we'll put another bead here. Good little bead. Try not to put so much on it that it squeezes out, because this stuff stays gray and you can see it on that white gutter. You can see it in spots I've done the front of the house with it. Well, you know, you can let it cure and take a little white spray paint and just kind of paint over it if it oozes out and looks ugly. All right, there we go. You can barely see a little line right there. I should have went ahead and pre-bent it, but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. All right, just like that. And I wiped every bit of that goo off there. Now I gotta put another bead on it. Put a little more on there because I wiped it off when I slid it on. Okay. Hook it right there. And press it down. And there we go. Let's say I'm gonna go back and put another bead down through here. Let me grab a couple of screws. That'll hold the front of it together. Okay, I'm gonna just run a screw right through the top of it. Just like that. And do it again on this side. Go down a little bit. There we go. Kind of squeeze that over a little bit. And then we will grab my pliers. Grab your pair of pliers. Kind of hold that like that. Bend it. If you want to, and what I did was after I got them installed, I ran a galvanized screw through here and through here, and then I put that sealer on top of them. Got galvanized screws I used. Just a little 1 inch, just to, it's not necessary. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is seal that on the inside. And be careful when you run your fingers over it. It's sharp. What I'll do when I'm finished with this, I'm gonna let it sit out in the sun for a little while, maybe even overnight, and just let it dry and cure, because I don't want to be moving it around a lot when it's still wet. Then we'll hang it. Then we'll carry it out there and hang it. Because it's such a short piece, you know, it's easier just to put it together right here instead of having to do it out there. The instructions say you don't, the instructions just say to put it on this under here, a bead on each side, but I like doing this too for extra insurance. Okay. Toss this in the garbage before I end up getting it all over me. I will. I like to just take my finger and just lightly just feather it out a little bit. It's almost got the consistency of snot. Remember when you was a kid, had them bad pneumonia and sinus infections? You'd be sitting at the dinner table and just blow it out real good and just, whew. I saw that all the time when I worked for the school systems. These kids get sent to school with a terrible sinus infection or something. Well, I gotta quit talking about that, it's nasty. How do I get talking about stuff like that? Yeah, after it rained yesterday, I went out there and looked, and on the front of the porch, I put the end cap on there, and the only thing I forgot to do was seal that. And it was just pouring right out of there. It was a pretty good little stream. Okay. Let that seal a little bit. Okay. Now what we're going to do is put the end. Oh, I just kicked that. Ooh. I'll tell you, those plastic deck chutes on these tractors, man, I kick them 4 or 5 times a day with my poor old ankle. You've got a right side and a left side. This one's going to be the right side. It's going to go just like that. Make sure it's clean and dry. At one section, I had to take some carb cleaner in the rag, and because it was oily from the manufacturing process, I had to make sure it was dry and clean. All right, this just goes in there like that. Just like that. Just kind of squeeze it in there and work it in. There it goes. Take a little hammer, just kind of tap it a little bit. Just kind of. Make sure it's all the way in there, all the way around. You don't have to, but what I did is I put one screw right there in that little tab. Well, you can't really see. I put one screw right through there to kind of hold it. Because if you assemble this on the roof, man, you're working, it kind of gets distorted and warped a little bit, and it's kind of hard to get these caps on there. Yep. Let me put a screw in that. And then we'll seal that. Let me slide the camera over here. Right where this stops, I'm gonna put it right there at the top. If it'll let me. Oop, I'm pulling it back a little bit. That just kind of holds it. And then the gutter section over there at Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever you get them from, they sell a bag of those white painted screw heads. You know, they got white paint on them so it doesn't look ugly. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and seal that using the same principles. It's a lot better if you buy this stuff. I need to put some more out there. I had a little void right there. It's better if you buy this stuff in a caulking tube with a caulk gun. It's a lot faster. Which is what I used the other day, but I ran out of the tubes. And it comes with these. That's why I got some of these left over. So we'll go right up the side. Nice consistent bead. Go across the bottom. I think air bubbles, air pockets in here. I'll tell you, it's a lot easier doing this on the ground than hanging off a ladder, straddling a bush, off balance. All right. Just kind of smooth it out just a little bit. Make sure it's nice and pushed in there. I'm not really trying to smooth it. I'm just more or less just trying to push it on inside the little void, little hole, seam, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right. That's really all you want to do. Just like that. And just like that. And what we'll do is put the end cap here. On that side. We'll use the left side cap for this side. Uh-oh. Looks like it may have gotten damaged right there. So I'm gonna have to take a pair of pliers and try to straighten that a little bit. Try to straighten that a little bit. Let me lower the camera. Yeah, it's got hit right there. This stuff is so thin. When you buy it at the store, man, you got to make sure it hadn't been dropped. You can get a piece, man, it's just all crusty, and it's too difficult to try to fix, and you'll end up having to trim it off. Okay, back around here. I may have to hit pause and go let this camera charge a little bit. It's already stopped once today making videos from overheating. Okay, grab my little hammer and tappy tappy. Yeah, make sure she's all the way down, then you get another screw and stick in it. If I can get a good way to hold it. I'm trying not to jostle it around so much. That's a good place to screw it. Yeah, this stuff is so thin that it's easy to screw like that. It's easy to get a screw through it. Okay. One more tube and we'll seal this side, and then we're going to have to seal one more thing down there, and I'll show you how we're going to install that spout. Okay, here we go. Just kind of take my finger and just kind of smooth it a little bit. Looks pretty good. I ain't real worried about getting real high up on it because that water ain't going to fill it up. It'll flow pretty good. This is a what they consider a 5-inch gutter. It's 5 inches, but it's actually 3.5 inches tall. Same width as a 2x4. And the downspout, we're using a 3-inch by 4-inch rectangular instead of a 2-inch by 3-inch. It's got a lot better flow. There, right there. And of course, I had to turn the camera. Well, the camera quit because it overheated again. Okay, I got it set up on these blocks. The last thing we're gonna do is install this. So what I'll do is put a bead around here. You ain't got to use much because it fits really good. Put it over the lid. There it is. Okay. Now that we got that glued, masticed, we'll just slide it right down in there. Like that. Then we'll grab our screws. What can I do with them? There they are. It comes pre-drilled, four screws there. Just kind of let the screws do the work. Just be kind of gentle with it. There's one. Two. What kind of, y'all tell me what kind of cameras y'all like using? Because I got to get away from this GoPro. Battery don't last no time. I don't have but about 27% left in it right now. And it'll overheat. And it quits. It's terrible. Okay, last thing we're going to do. Well, goes on there like that. I think I'll lay this upside down. To do that, let's see, it's going to go that way. Yep. Let me grab a couple of screws. That's all it takes is just a couple of screws. And I just happen to have a couple of screws left that are white. So it looks good from the screed. See how I'm telling you this stuff will ooze out? You can't see it from the street, so I ain't worried about it. I don't like using a whole lot of screws in this stuff because it'll catch. It'll catch all the leaves and stuff. That's all you want that to do is just hold it. Okay. That stuff's already almost dry to the touch. Well, there it is. Now we'll carry this out there and install just as a single piece. And what you do is make sure you get it under the lip of the shingles. Make sure the shingles are going over it. And then this will, you need to unscrew this a little bit because sometimes when you get these, this screw is actually screwing into this little area here. And this has to slide over the back of the gutter. So make sure that's backed off. That one's good. See this one? That one is inside that little area right there. So I need to unscrew it a little bit. But I would put one kind of close to the end. I would put one close to the seam we made. And maybe, you really only need two on this, but I'm gonna put three. You just take it and hook it. Hook it like that. Just like that. Then you just take a 1/4 inch socket and put it on your impact or drill or something and just drill right into the right into the fascia board. I'll put another one here, about the middle. And then I'll put one here, kind of on this side, close to that seam to give it support. And I'm gonna let this cure for about another hour, and then we'll go out there and stick it on, but that's what it's gonna look like when we install it. That's what it's gonna look like. Ow, I just kicked that. God, I just kicked that thing again. Boy, my ankle just stays tore up all the time from kicking tractor chutes. And that one right there is a 48-inch deck, so it's a lot bigger than usual 42. Anyway, y'all hang with me, man. We're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go in here and eat me a cheeseburger. And we'll go hang this thing today. Alrighty. She has been sitting for about an hour. I'll carry it out here. Oh. Get my little vice grips off there. Alright. This one will take just a minute. Just hold it up there, put your level on it. Just make sure it's not perfectly level. Just give it a little bit of fall. And that's all she needs. Because the roof, I've already checked the roof. The roof is perfectly level. I built that roof years ago. All right. All right. Find somewhere to set this. Let's see. Lower the. I'm gonna make the camera as low as it'll go, and then I'll lay it on top of the roof and let you look down at it. Okay. Can you see me now? All right, what we'll do is just hold it under there. Let the gutters run over it, and then I'll lay the level in there. See, right now the bubble goes to that side, so it's got some good fall to it. And that's all you do. Yep. That's all you do. See there, I mean, you really can't tell just by standing back here looking at it that it's not level. But yeah, you see it's very off level. There we go. And the last one right here. All right, there we go. It's got some good fall to it. That little spout's gonna shoot it straight out, right there on the grass. Keeping all this being washed and wet as it goes right into the wall, into the cellar, into the crawl space. All right, boys and girls. That was easy because it was just a small section. See, if I had to, like I did the house, I have to hang a piece of it, hang the end part, and then put the seam stuff on there after you get it all hung, you know, like I did right there. I hung that piece first, Then I hung the corner piece first, then I attached the sides, and then finished that off. But that was pretty simple. Basic little gutter hanging video. Boys and girls, thanks for watching the video. I'm gonna hang gutters on the garage too eventually. Cut down each side. I think I might put them down this side of the carport. Right down through there. That'll be easy to do. Just kind of slide it up under the... What I'll do is take that screw out, slide the gutter under it, and then put the screw back through it. That's how I'm going to hang that. See, I have no gutters on this, and the water all splashes right here on this concrete, and it's starting to rot the bottom of the siding. About 6 years ago, I had to replace some of this over here on this side. See how I had to do that? I just cut it about 2 feet off the ground, put this little metal channel in there, and I replaced the bottom part. I just cut it out, and I had to replace some of the wood too. You can see where I had to replace the bottom of all the studs. I had to cut the studs off all the way down and redo the bottom sill plate. I had to take floor jacks and jack up the whole side of the garage. Then I had to sister the studs and put a new sill plate. So that was years ago. I gotta get some more gutters. Gutters. I'm gonna put gutters hanging off my gutters. Well, boys and girls, thanks for watching another Tom W video. I hope you learned something. Maybe one day I'll learn how to do it. Love y'all. Be good. Take care. And I will catch y'all on the next one.